Hey guys, and welcome to this video where I'll go through some really old code that I made. I guess the code is from around 2011, 2012, approximately 10 years old. It's PHP, so we can start having a laugh already. And this is a website I made for streaming music, actually. But this was at the time that Flash was inherently popular, so HTML5 was just coming, right? Or having. But there were very few websites that actually supported, or browsers I should say, that supported HTML5 audio. I wanted to create something where you can play the music from your phone as well, like from a browser in your phone. And yeah, let's just get into it and see what we'll find. We start off by some basic code. This is before HTTPS was popular for like people who didn't have money for to like buy a HTTPS or secure socket layer license. I have my trusty coworker here with me, Luva. Yeah, and things like Let's Encrypt didn't exist, or maybe at least I didn't know about it. So, but anyway, I wrote my own CMS system. I've written a couple CMS systems in PHP, but this one I wrote entirely by myself, and it's super weird, right? Because it's not object-oriented PHP. It's, I don't know what to call it, to be honest. It's just regular PHP. We use a couple of require ones and things like that, right? And by all means, I will be sitting here and laughing at this because I made this 10 years ago, and I've like developed my skills a little bit since then. At least I hope. But by all means, if you build something like this, be super proud of it. If this is one of your first projects or something like this, there's no bad code if it doesn't harm anyone or expose any like industry secrets or anything, and it fulfills your requirements, then there's no bad code. The CF core, I think it's called the CMS. I called the CMS here, but I think it's actually called Confluent or something like that, which is very similar to Confluence, right? But I hope Confluence didn't exist at the time. Maybe I should sue them. It starts with a hook, which apparently is running. Yeah, so it checks if it's been called by the index.php, because otherwise you could just find the hook.php and run it by itself, right? We have some globals here that we have defined. Allow dev, I'm not sure what that is about. Yeah, and here we set the current theme. So we actually have multiple themes available, which is funny, right? So, when we start a session, so we have sessions here. Maybe we should add like a little cookie banner or something. Yeah. Oh, and we have a mobile mode. So this is actually not mobile first at all, but it's actually mobile friendly, I would say. Which is fine, I guess. Yeah, we also require a couple of things like draw, parse, tools, and events. I guess that's tools is just defining functions. This is like a check for mobile. I've actually kept the source where I found it, and it still looks for like a BlackBerry and that sort of stuff. Oh, and WAP profile. Yeah, wow, I love this. Yeah, and then we have an auto-run thing that apparently we can put. Yeah, so we have a plugin kind of system, which essentially just runs everything in the auto-run folder. I guess this is probably yeah, in theory this should be like a plugin system, I guess. It was just never used, and it's totally overdid then, I guess. Yeah. Oh, and then we set a couple of headers here, so we actually try to prevent this page from being cached or cached with HTTP 1.0 and 1.1 support. I mean, that's good, I guess. For a theme, DCO script not found, died in a hole. I mean, that's a good. Anyway, so we have two different kinds of website here. So we have the draw mobile and the draw hold, right? And I guess these are part of the draw thing, right? Yeah, so if we draw mobile, it will actually just draw the body by itself, as you can see here. So, but if you're on a desktop, it will actually draw a box around it. It is technically it's mobile first, right? Because all of the templates are made mobile first, and then on the desktop we just wrap it in a box. that is essentially like the size of a mobile phone, right? So it's a clever way of doing it, if I say so myself. Yeah, this is pretty cool actually. I remember this. I created a whole floating box. If I turned developer mode on and logged in, I would actually get like a little box that was floating around that had all of the, like a drop-down menu of like a tree view of all of the variables that was defined on the website. So that's actually pretty cool. It's such a weird thing to develop. Not sure what this does, to be honest. Yeah, so it tries to require the file you're looking for. So DCMS underscore theme root and then pathroot.html. So let's go to the themes, right? So we have two different themes. We have a basic theme, I think, which is just, you know, a basic theme. Oh, and we actually have functions here that you can run, which is actually kind of cool. So we're actually in a language called PHP, which is a templating language, basically, and I've written my own templating language inside of the templating language. So I mean, yeah, it's for those of you that know me or would not be surprised, right? But anyway, yeah, and then you add these CMS function, add meta extras here. So I mean, that's kind of cool. I wonder where these actually are. We have parse here. Could that be it? Yeah, exactly. So we're actually using regex here, which is kind of fun because I didn't learn regex until quite late on, I would say personally, but apparently I did, right? It actually we have a couple of UTF-8 handlers there. I guess we had a problems with encodings. I mean, yeah, we did. So we actually fixed Swedish characters. There's a bunch of, you know, weird characters that's not supposed to be in the code, and then it just, you know, replaces them with OL, which are Swedish characters. I mean, I love this, right? We also, like, return is capital in the beginning. It's supposed to be return like this, so it doesn't even color it, right? But I mean, yeah, it's fun, right? So we have the default website here, which is just basic markup and just has a couple of pictures. Yeah, so first of all, you need a username and password. So you will basically need to log in. So we have like an if sequence here, and that says if it's the right or wrong password. We also have a handler here. Yeah, exactly. So this is like for uploading music. So we're actually using the auto-run feature. And as I said, at the time, we didn't really have, we just had Flash players, right? So it was the browsers themselves didn't support all of the different kind of files. So normally you thought you would be able to upload like an MP3 or something, and then all browsers would be able to play that. But no, there's a license to MP3, so not all browsers can do that. And at the time, some of the Android phones didn't have licenses to some of these files. So I realized that Og Vorbis and M4A, like MP4 audio or whatever it is, I'm not super into it anymore. That's like the two formats that will cover the most number of browsers. And I think M4A actually works with pretty much every browser except Firefox, and then Firefox requires Og Vorbis. We also have some weird, I don't know, jokes or something. I was about 15 or something when I coded this, I guess. Oh wait, 17? 16? I don't remember, whatever. I was not working professionally, at least, and I was still in school. But yeah, so you can upload your own songs to this website, and you can create users, and those users can log in, but they can only log in once to listen to the song. So you gave a one-time username and password to someone, and they would be able to log in and listen to the music, which is kind of cool. It's a kind of cool concept. But you know, I spent so much time working with creating this CMS system that I didn't create a proper database, and this is where it gets fun, right? So instead of a proper database, I actually wrote an ini handler that will be able to modify 2012 0 to include stuff like automatic configuration. This is funny. So basically, instead of like a real database, like a MySQL database, we actually have ini files here, and I'll actually show you how to look. So we have like a music list, which is essentially like the list of music, and these you could edit from the CMS system, right? So you would be able to assign or create new users like this in the CMS system, and then you would be able to create music list, and you can see like which users are assigned to which music list, right? The problem with the music list is because of how I created the player. I didn't know how HTML5 worked at all, so I just copied on like an existing player. Exactly, so I used a jQuery circle player, I guess. Yeah, exactly, instance circle player. Yeah, so circle player I was using apparently. Then, and this is fun, right? Because here is the HTML, right? That's from the circle player, and then I render stuff inside of it, which just breaks the color coding here. And there's like an end of a DCMS function here. Oh yeah, it's add meta extras. This is actually pretty cool actually, because it basically reads this file and then it has a function that says add meta extras. So you can add meta content to the top of the HTML, even though you're actually inside of a like a player, which is actually pretty cool to be honest. It's like if you look at Blade or some of the more advanced, templating languages that work for PHP now, they can actually do things like this as well. I wouldn't say I was ahead of my time because this is pretty basic still, but I mean I still had a pretty awesome function, right? This is pretty cool. Yeah, so since I used YPlayer, there was one like an example where you had two circle players in one on one page. So I just copied that and just replaced the URLs kind of. And but then since I have the limit of just two players, you had to switch page, right? So that's why the music list looks like this. It's basically a list. Is basically just two different songs, right? But I mean, it worked and it's fine. And at the time, if you would run more than these music players, like two of them, like a phone wouldn't be able to handle like 5 or 6 different music players. I think it would just lag desperately. So I think 2 is pretty fine, right? But what I would have preferred is a limited amount of songs, right? So you could pick a song from the list and then you would be able to play that one and then just click next to play the next song, like you would in Spotify or whatever. Oh god, yeah, this is actually pretty fun. So I actually updated this and wrote JSON handler instead. I started having problems with the ini files. They got overwritten and stuff, and it's also hard to maintain and export and import and stuff like that. So I figured I would just switch it to JSON at some of the point. So now there's actually, I won't show you this whole file, but it's actually in JSON instead. And I will show you the users file because I've replaced all the passwords here. But you can see the one who's actually using this system is actually it's just tons and tons of users, because all of these users are basically one-time use, right? So he would be able to give up multiple ones. And I actually also, when I did this, I actually introduced parents, so you could have like a tree of users when you actually edit them, which is kind of fun. But yeah, it's still super duper messy, it is, right? I mean, I'm cool like that, right? I have my own, what do you call it, file extension, yeah. Oh god. Right, we have the manage, yeah, it's the manage music. Exactly, so we have manage users, manage music list, and the uploader. And the problem with the uploader is that you need to convert it yourself, right? Because I didn't include a converter inside of the CMS system. They would call me up, like it was super necessary to do the uploader because they would have to call me up either way and be like, hey, can you convert these files to Varmis and M4A so I can play them in the browser? And I'm like, sure, yeah, let's do that. So I would have to do it either way. it's actually, the code is actually, even if it's quite bad and it's not object oriented, or I'm actually impressed that I have all of these if functions and stuff like that. It's totally unnecessary to write your own template engine inside of a template engine, of course, but but I mean, I probably had some fun while doing it. Anyway, this was just supposed to be a short video. I'm already up to like 20 minutes. I'll see if I can cut some things out. If you thought this was funny, please leave a comment or something and see if you want to more. I have tons of old software projects that I just have laying around. So, I mean, I could do these for days probably, just, you know, going through my really old code and looking at how terrible it is. But yeah. Thanks for watching.